Hello, detailers and business owners. These podcasts that we record every week is for you. Today, I'm talking about the misunderstanding of auto detailing. If you're an auto detailer, you own a company, you service clients, or if you are a client who gets your car detailed every now and then, a car enthusiast, and you have some misperceptions, some misunderstandings, I'm sure you've heard before. Hey, can you wax my car to remove scratches? Or maybe the older generation who just never wants to wax their vehicle because it just got it and they just want to leave it untouched without adding any sort of protection on the paint because they think it's better to never touch it at all with any protection, just wash it. If you're a detailer, I'm sure you're going to connect to this. I'm sure you've heard it before, and it's funny because sometimes I share some. I talk to detailers, and they share the same type of encounters they have with people on a daily basis. So stay tuned.
Welcome to the Wings Mobile Detailing Business and Automotive Podcast, the only podcast that will guide you on how to start and grow six-figure companies. As our team expand from one business location to worldwide domination, you will get step-by-step insights from a millennial franchisor and franchise owner with your host, Andre Mezalira.
All right, guys, thank you so much for staying so far with us. You guys who's listening to our podcast every Wednesday. What I get a lot, and share with me, guys, if you get the same people that doesn't really understand what about detailing, and it's fine. Nobody does. We never did. We as detailers never understood how detailing works, what each service was meant for. But the worst part of those people are those who are not willing to open up their ears and hear ideas and hear what is right for their car and what is not right. Sometimes we do have, detailers, we do have the knowledge about it, but some people just don't want to hear and they want to stick to their own ways, and their ways sometimes it is worse. It is clear that it is worse, and it's not the right way to do things. But it's fine. Maybe they have dealt with a lot of other detailers who's just trying to sell them stuff, get the money out of them, and maybe that's what created and form that closed mentality that they don't want to hear anybody else because maybe they have so many bad experiences with bad detailers. And we all know there are bad detailers out there as well who, doesn't do very good of a service. So it's okay. We understand. But I'm recording this podcast to share with you guys what I get. I get people saying, and starting now, some clients requesting just to compound their vehicle and they're good to go. They literally, I've gotten calls before where they want to get their cars just compounded. Hey, come here, wash my car and compound, and I'm good to go just to remove these scratches because I have deep scratches and I just want to like one stage of compound and then I leave. Thinking that, you're going to compound your vehicle and it is going to remove the scratches by compounding it. But what they don't know, and if you're one of those who think that, that's okay. And that's why I'm recording this podcast, to break down and share some of my knowledge. Is compound, it does remove scratches. It does remove deep scratches. If it's done properly, obviously, that's what it's made for you to get the buffer and compound it out. However, the compound, as you're compounding, it's abrasive. When you're compounding a vehicle, there's abrasiveness on the pad. And when you're removing scratches, what you're technically doing, you're creating fine scratches. Because when you're removing scratches from a vehicle, deep, if they are deep with the compound, what you're doing is it's kind of like you're sanding the paint. Think about it like you were wet sanding. And when you're wet sanding, you are creating minor scratches. Right? So that defeats the purpose, right? No, actually not. It doesn't, because when you're compounding, you're creating micro scratches, but you're like sanding it heavy. I'm just comparing it to wet sanding, and then you're removing the deeper scratches. And after you compound the vehicle, what you have to do to remove what you left behind from the compounding action, which you left micro marring, very micro swirl marks, micro scratches. If you look in the sun after you compound the whole vehicle, it's all going to be scratched up in a micro level. Very tiny, tiny little scratches, which is micro marring. And you cannot just compound. That's why you have to follow up with two more steps, 2, 3, whatever, more steps of polish with your machine, fine polish, until you get very fine to the point where you remove all the scratches from that stage 1, 2, and 3 or 4. So you cannot technically just compound your vehicle. That's not gonna work. If that's what you want, just expect to have micro markings on your vehicle, tiny little scratches. And as far as on the scratch removal side, there's another number 2 point is people think that the clay bar would remove scratches from the vehicle. The clay bar barely makes the paint look any better. The clay bar is what you do after you wash the vehicle to decontaminate the paint of your vehicle, to get the paint smooth as glass. That's all it does. It's the feel of it, because you do remove some minor surface paint imperfections that cannot be seen by naked eyes. That's, when you clay bar a vehicle, the vehicle is supposed to be already completely washed and clean. There's not supposed to be bird poop on top of your paint. Technically you want to have it clean, because if you clay bar a dirty car, that you can see, dirt that can be seen by naked eyes, and if you clay it, you're scratching the vehicle. And yes, you can scratch the vehicle if you clay bar the car, but only if you clay it improperly, then you scratch a vehicle. So the clay does not remove any scratches. The clay, you're literally rubbing a piece of clay on your vehicle. It is great. It's great to do, let's say, once a year. If you just got your vehicle, brand new vehicle sometimes, and you want to add a good coating of protection on your vehicle, I like to clay it because I don't know what type of protection is there existing on the vehicle already. So I like to strip the wax completely off, and that's what the clay does. Gets any type of waxes that's already on the vehicle, paint protection. And you have the naked bare paint there, bare clear coat, and then you can add your favorite wax, your favorite sealant, or even the ceramic coating after the whole preparation, so that the sealant or wax bond well. So yeah, clay bar does not remove scratches. Heck, it's not even going to make the paint look any better. It is, because it's going to take the contamination off and dirt. It is going to improve the brightness of it, because it's going to be super clean, but barely. That's not what it's meant for. What is meant for to give the brightness to the vehicle is the polish, even the wax. The wax gives some brightness. Number 3, guys, and this is the most known misperception. If you're a detailer, I know you've heard this before. Hey, can you wax my car to remove scratches? We hear that a lot, and don't blame people who think that way. Okay, we didn't know that ourselves, so we just have to be patient and explain it to them. And I've done that many times, where I had to explain to them, hey, the wax does not remove scratches. If you really need to remove some swirl marks, then I recommend them to do at least a 1 step of polish. I do explain to them, hey, the wax, it does enhance the shine. Carnauba wax is really good at enhancing the shine. And it does cover up some minor scratches. If you're doing a paste wax on the car, even liquid wax, there's the Meguiar's spray wax. Even that, if you have tiny minor swirl marks on the vehicle, minor scratches, you're not going to see them anymore. But I do explain to clients, hey, the wax is not meant to remove scratches. It may hide. Awesome. If you're selling your vehicle and you don't mind about, correcting it before, and you just want to hide some scratches and enhance the shine, yeah, just apply a coating of wax on there, and you're going to sell the vehicle with a good, protection on there. But it's not meant to remove scratches, guys. If obviously you detailers who's listening to this know that, but clients who doesn't know, we just have to explain it to them. Another paint correction slash scratch removal misperception that people may have is when they say, hey, can you do a quick buff on my car to remove this deep scratches that's in here? Just do a quick buff. I want to get the scratches out. And if you're a detailer and you say, yes, we can do a quick buff, and you go there and do a quick buff, again, they said, hey, I want to get my scratches out. Sometimes deep scratches. And you have to stop them right there. You have to explain to them, and you detailers, I'm sure you got this, but we do have to explain to them that that's not how it works. We cannot do just a quick buff to remove deeper scratches. Maybe we can do a quick buff, but it's never quick. Even if we do polish properly, we still want to clay the vehicle, wash it, and that takes time. It takes time and work. Even if we were to do a one step of polish to remove minor ones, but quick buff, it doesn't work. We cannot. We cannot quick buff. If we're to remove, especially the deeper scratches, if we're to do that quick buff using the compound product, again, we're back to mistake number one. We cannot just compound the vehicle. Sometimes not even wet sanding will remove the scratches that they wanted removed when they ask you for a quick buff. Not even wet sanding. So we just have to explain it to them that way too. But that's I'm just sharing with you guys what I get. A lot of clients say that. Something else that I get, which is related to the wax part, is some people may think that we can over wax the vehicle. And I thought it myself. I thought that there is such a thing as over waxing, or is applying too much wax on the car. And there's not. If you apply too much wax, more than you need while you're waxing the car, you're just going to have more work removing it, buffing it off. But it's not like it's bad for the paint. Same way as it is not bad to wax your car a lot. There's no such thing as over waxing your vehicle. If you're waxing it properly, you're not going to scratch the paint. If you wax the car properly, 4 times in a week, obviously there's higher chances of you scratching the paint if you don't. But that's assuming you prepare the vehicle before. There's no grind in the paint. Then there's no such thing as over waxing it. The more you wax, it's just going to build up wax on top of the other, and as you apply it, you might remove the one that's underneath. It might be the same thing, but there's no consequence against it. And you don't need it. Obviously, you don't need to wax your car, 4 times a month. That's not necessary. And guys, if you're a detailer, shoot me a message. Go to Instagram at Wings Mobile Detailing. You can find me on Instagram, shoot me a direct message there, or on Facebook, wherever you find Wings Mobile Detailing. Get in contact with us, man. Send us a text message and let me know. Share with us what you get as well. Or if you're against what I'm saying, also please send me a message. Because what I'm going to say next year is something that a lot of detailers, there are many detailers who disagree with this, but they say that you cannot remove scratches using a dual action buffer. You're supposed to use a rotary buffer. If you have swirl marks and they say, no, you're supposed to compound the vehicle using a rotary buffer. And that's not the case. There's no specific rule to what you can use, to what you should use when you're removing scratches. If you do a professional job and you want to compound the vehicle using your dual action buffer to be a little bit safer, maybe it's a force rotation buffer, any type of dual action, you're going to take longer. It is going to be safer, but if you're really professional in using a rotary buffer, it may be just as safe because you know what you're doing. But don't criticize people who uses dual action buffer to use compound. It's going to take more time, but if it's done professionally, I personally have done many cars where I removed compound death scratches with the dual action buffer, a microfiber pad, and I have other podcasts here underneath, guys, that you can see the steps that I use to do paint correction. It works great. I've done many vehicles with a dual action buffer, and it worked. We have to take more time. We have to leave the machine there, but we also don't have to do the motion of rotary buffer. And yes, you can remove scratches. If you don't agree with removing scratches with a dual action buffer, so be it. Don't do it. Continue using the rotary. It's good. It works. If it works for you, great. But that works. You can remove scratches using a dual action buffer. Unless the scratch is deep, obviously, we're not even wet sanding. We remove. It's different. It's a different case. Now, jumping with price. Misunderstanding of those people who think that detail, when they call a detailing company, they just want something quick. And sometimes their offer for the service is so ridiculous that it doesn't even pay for the gas of your car to go there to their house if you're a mobile detailer, or it's not worth for you to even turn the machine on, for you to go there. Sometimes they call you and they want a quick wash and vacuum, and they're like, hey, I want a quick wash and vacuum for $30. And we're detailers, $30 for us, especially mobile detailers, for us to go out there for $30 and just as a detailer to do a $30 service, it doesn't work. Sometimes we don't even know what to do for $30 because if they ask for a quick wash and vacuum inside and outside, we as detailers, we're not gonna leave their door jambs, without drying. We're not gonna leave their wheels half-ass washed. We can't do something. Sometimes we cannot even do anything quick. I cannot. If somebody asks me, hey, come here, I have multiple cars, come do each car for $30 each inside and outside, and I am washing the exterior of the car, there's no such service that I can offer to where I can make it worth the $30. Not even for me, not even for a client, because I'm gonna do a quick wash. And how do I do that? How am I supposed to just go there, wet the car and dry it? If I do that, I'm gonna scratch the vehicle. So I have to wash the car well before I dry the car. And I have to dry the car so it don't create water spots. Same with the interior. You can half-ass the vacuum there and not vacuum too well, but then the quality of your brand is diminishing as a detailer. As a car washer, that's different. You want to do fleet, you're used to that, that's different. But still, and there are services like that, so it's not, it's no wrong to offer $30 services. But as a detailer, if you're a detailer and you have hard time doing that, sometimes you just have to get away from people who request that and recommend them to people who does that, who actually does a quick $30 wash. But people you have to make people aware, because some people don't understand what is inside a detail, because some people want an actual detail for $30. They say my car is not dirty at all and I just want a $30 service, detail service. And that doesn't work, because even if your car is not dirty, we're still touching the same surfaces. We're still going detailing, and it's still gonna take time. And that's another one that I get, guys. For the older generation out there now, who wants their car to be completely detailed, and I'm just sharing a lot of misperception, misunderstandings. And this is particularly more present in the older generation out there. Some of them think that it's better to never put any wax on their car. They call you and they just bought a new car, and they want their car to continue looking good. They actually want that. They want their car to always look good for the long term because they're keeping it. And they say, no, I don't want it to touch with any type of wax or seal. No, none of that bull, beep. And they put us in a kind of a difficult situation, because they're telling us that, hey, I want my car to last. I want my car to last longer, the paint to always continue looking good. And then they come and say, therefore, I don't want to put any sort of wax or protection, because I just want a good wash. Just wash inside and outside. Don't put anything on the paint. Just remove the dirt, and it's good. Some people even told me that they clay the vehicle and they wash it and they don't want any part of wax on it. That's a nightmare, because if you're claying your vehicle, not only you're not putting any protection on it, when you clay, you're removing protection. You are removing the wax, the sealant, whatever is in there that protects the paint. So it's hard to hear that, because it's hard to hear that from people who say that, and they're not open to hearing suggestion, to hearing the truth that, hey, you need wax on your vehicle. there's no negative consequence of you waxing your vehicle properly. If it's done properly, and a lot of detailers, reputable detailers, they're going to do a really good job waxing your vehicle, and you should have it. If you want your car to be protected to last longer, wax is good. It was made to actually protect the clear coat from UVs, especially sealants. Especially sealants that from dirt from sticking to the paint job and then consequently losing the color. And it's hard to get around that, but most times for those who don't want to listen, we just have to agree, say yes, and offer our basic detail service without any sort of wax protection on their vehicle. We're just gonna always follow their request, even though it's not ideal. Even after we recommend. And same with ceramic coating. Some people think that, ceramic coating is bad for my car, I might just continue to wax it. If some people don't want ceramic coating on their car because of price, and they want to just maintain it wax, seal the car, apply coating of sealant, polymer, and then follow up with waxes every now and then it's fine if they don't want a ceramic due to pricing. Now, some don't want ceramic because they think it's really bad for their vehicle. This is my opinion, guys, but as you detailers know, ceramic is good. It has been tested. There are a lot of new products, ceramics, that's quote unquote ceramic, that is coming out, and it's being tested just now. That it hasn't been tested for that long of a period of time for us to know if it's really good or not. But ceramic has proven that it is good for your vehicle if it's done well. Unless those people don't want to have detailers do it because you're scared that they're not going to apply it well. So that's understandable. It's better to not apply ceramic than to have a bad company apply it. But you guys who are listening to this podcast, you detailers, you guys are all great and you all know what you do. So ceramic is good. Dealership detailing versus hiring a company to do detail. A lot of people buy their cars as well. If you're a detailer and get people who say, hey, no, I got my car done at a dealership. I paid the $500 detail package, so it's good on protection, and I'm good to go. I'm sure you detailers there are cringing, because we know what a $500 dealership detail means. It probably means your standard $120 package with maybe not even wax applied on the paint. And you know that it is hard to get them out of the way, because some people think, I bought my car from whatever type of dealership is there, and they think that because the detailers, it was detailed in the dealership, it means that for some reason the manufacturer, it's covered by the manufacturer, not as far as warranty goes, but the detailers are better because the detailers come from the actual car manufacturer. But that's not reality. I mean, not even the products. The detailers are there. They are professional detailers. They can be at times. But the dealership is good for selling cars. But detailed is just, they use bad quality products. They don't use the best products, that doesn't work well on the paint. And $500 detail on the dealership is, not only do they not use the good products that we use, that we know is better for their vehicle, but they use worse types of services for a higher price, where we would be using a much better protection. So it's hard to get around that. It's hard to get around sometimes people who trust more of the dealership, but it's our job to explain it to them. It's our job to convey. And I have a whole new podcast, guys. If you scroll down the list, continue listening, that I shared, dealership detail versus auto regular detailing. I forgot the title of it. Thank you for listening for the 24 minutes of my podcast. Guys, share it with me, your ideas. Again, go to Instagram, Wings Mobile Detailing. Follow me there, or wherever you type my name, Andre Mezalira, you may find, but you can send me a text message. Leave a 5-star review if you enjoy this podcast, if you connected with any of the things I said. Thank you, all of you existing detailers who has been reaching out to me, asking questions, And I'll be more than happy to answer if you're running a business. This is also a business podcast, business and auto detailing. So we can share ideas. If any one of you want to reach out and maybe be part of my podcast to share your opinion, feel free to get in contact. Again, we're on Instagram or Facebook, and look forward to hearing back from you guys. Thank you very much, and be safe out there.